So Custodies probably
19.
Custodies outnumber this army, probably.
Yeah, probably. Not for long, though, don't worry.
Hello and welcome to this detachment review. Today we are going to be looking at the Crusher Stampede detachment from the new Tyranid Codex. So we're going to run through enhancements and stratagems available to your army, and also some top spotlight units, and also review an army list. All right, dude, so what's the detachment rule for the Crusher Stampede?
Right, so the Crusher Stampede is filled with enraged behemoths.
Yes, it is.
Each time a Tyranid monster from your army makes an attack, add one to the hit roll if it's below starting strength,
Yep.
and add one to the wound roll if it's below half strength.
Cool.
So a Norn Emissary or Assimilator with 16 wounds is going to get +1 to its hit rolls if it's below 16.
So 15 wounds.
So if you've done any wounds to it,
Yeah.
and then if it's got 7 left, so below half, then it's going to get +1 to wound as well.
Great.
We've seen this rule pop up in a few other places.
Adeptus
The
Mechanicus.
Sororitas Index. This is very good on models with lots of wounds. Particularly good on those ones that obviously don't hit on 2s initially, like the Norns.
Yeah.
But things like your Exocrines, your Tyrannifexes, normally hit on 3s, now can hit on 2s. And obviously the more wounds the better, because then they're more likely to get the most use out of the +1 to wound as well.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? So if you're playing Sisters, it's much easier to go fine, have +1 to hit because they're quite low toughness.
Yeah.
And the damage output from, let's say, a standard Battle Sister squad isn't as impactful as, let's say, you take +1 to hit onto a Norn or +1 to hit on an Exocrine. You really have to make sure when you pick your targets against this army, go, I have to make sure I kill this model and not leave it on 1 or 2 wounds or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to make sure you get rid of it.
Yeah,
otherwise it's just getting better the more you hurt it.
Absolutely, and of course some of these that have a lot of wounds, they do bracket, as we say, so when they get to a certain amount of wounds, they're -1 to their hit rolls. This Crusher Stampede ability is going to completely negate that, and they're going to get +1 to wound as well, so they're actually going to be better
the
than
more
they
you
initially were, the more you hurt them. So you absolutely do have to kill them.
Yeah. Brilliant. All right, well, let's take a look at some enhancements next, mate.
But before we continue, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, The Outpost. If you're looking for great deals on your miniatures, paints and gaming supplies, we've got you covered. Their wide variety of exceptional service makes them the go-to destination for all hobby needs. So don't wait, check out The Outpost today. Link in the description below.
Enhancement number 1 is Ominous Presence. Tyranid monster only, add 3 to the bearer's OC characteristic.
So your Hive Tyrants, you're giving them
OC6.
OC6.
Yeah, with this ability.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Yep,
Yeah,
I like
great
it.
role in the objectives.
Yep, exactly. Next one.
Enraged Reserves.
Okay.
So this allows you, once you're destroyed by a melee attack, monster only of course, on a 3+, you can fight before you get removed from play.
So you get fight on death on 3s.
Exactly. And bear in mind that the model is going to fight at below half strength because it's literally dead.
Yeah.
So you're going to get +1 to hit and wound with those attacks
On
as well.
fight on death.
On fight on death. On a 3+. That's pretty good.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
We've then got Null Nodules.
Okay.
So once per battle, when a psychic attack's allocated to the bearer, you can trigger Feel No Pain 5+ until the end of the phase, and then it's used up.
I read that as Null Noodles.
Null Noodles. We need some of them Null Noodles.
Null Noodles.
That's how they make psychic blanks in the
exactly.
40k universe.
Null Noodles.
That Codex assassin
Exactly.
is straight on that ramen
Easy.
as soon as he finishes his missions. Get those Null Noodles all up in him, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, in this case, the Null Noodle's giving you a 5 but feel no pain.
In this case, yeah, against psychic attacks. Well, it works. Eating the Null Noodle, you are what you eat, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, Sisters of Silence, big on the noodles. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Great, we've discovered the
secret to the 40k
secret.
universe.
Wow,
Nice.
very
All
good.
right, great. What's next?
So, Monstrous Nemesis is the last one. Monster only. Each time they attack a monster or vehicle, +1 to wound.
Okay.
It's okay.
It just means you're getting your detachment rule a bit early.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Cool. Right.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't think that if you have spare points and you want to go down that route, go for it. But I think there's better ones.
What you're really looking at here is 2 out of these 4, probably. Not because they're good, but because you're not going to take a huge amount of character monsters in this detachment.
You're going to take 2 Hive Tyrants.
You're not going to take 2 Hive Tyrants, max, right? You're probably not taking a Turvagon. Because the little guys aren't going to benefit at all from this detachment.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're looking at really just the Hive Tyrants.
Okay, nice. All right, so the null noodles have gone past their sell-by date. We don't need them in this one, really.
Don't really need them.
But the OC is nice if you have spare points, and the fight on death I think is really nice on Hive Tyrant.
Yeah, slap it straight on your Hive Tyrant. That way, you know, you get revenge if they manage to kill you.
Exactly. Brilliant. Awesome, mate. Well, let's look at some stratagems next.
Let's take a moment to appreciate Colourforge, our fantastic sponsor. Their range of spray paints has become our go-to for making our miniatures come to life quickly and efficiently. The quality and variety of colours they offer are truly unmatched, providing a smooth application for stunning effects every time. Check out Colourforge for your next hobby project.
Corrosive Viscera
is
the first one. So, in your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase, when a Tyranids monster with deadly demise but not fly is destroyed,
right,
you don't roll to see if deadly demise happens. It just does for 1 CP. Okay.
Right.
All right. So this is real fun, right? Because the Norn Emissary has deadly demise D6.
Oh Lord.
I'm not a fan of this stratagem.
Okay.
Because it's not very nice.
That's very powerful.
There's not a lot of interaction there.
No.
If you're familiar with the channel, you've heard us talk about it before.
Yeah.
Deadly demise can be quite feels bad.
It can be.
Being able to just trigger this when your opponent's gone through all the hard work to kill a Norn Emissary.
Yeah.
And just do D6 mortal wounds to all of their units within 6 inches. For 1 CP.
It might have been better if it was on like a 4+.
I agree.
Rather than it being...
It shouldn't have been guaranteed.
Done. Yeah.
I agree. It's a little bit too much of a... I was going to swear then, but it's a bit too much of a middle finger really, isn't it?
Yeah,
After
exactly.
You've gone through all the effort of killing the monster.
I think what to do in this situation then is to shoot the monster itself. Don't get into combat with them.
6.
Yeah, exactly.
Commit just the 1 unit.
If you are going to go into combat with one of the monsters, maybe just ask what the deadly demise is first, so you can understand what damage you're going to receive back.
Yeah.
That way you're not going to get that gotcha moment, which is potentially going to happen here.
Yeah, exactly. And watch out for your lone operatives as well, because they're very easy to kill.
But don't forget, this does affect their units as well.
Yeah, this is true.
So if you are playing as Tyranids, or if you're playing against them, you've got to look at that aura of 6 inches and go, well, if he uses it, you're going to lose something else. And in this detachment, it's going to hurt. Well, actually...
I was about to say, you actually kind of want to trigger
You actually probably want to
you get +1 to hit.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
And potentially...
I was trying to find a positive in the situation, Mike. Don't ruin it. All right, well, let's move on to the next one then, mate.
Yeah. This is Rampaging Monstrosities.
Cool.
1 CP, fight phase, reroll hits. On a Tyranid monster.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really handy, just dole out the reroll hits.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it. Next one.
Savage Roar.
Yeah.
1 CP, the only defensive stratagem in here. So if someone is going to target you in the fight phase, your monster, you can force them to take a battle shock test. I assume you're screaming at them.
Cool.
Like that.
Can you do that again? Do you know what it actually reminds me of? Have you seen Shrek? And you know the little guy that goes up to Shrek and goes, "Did a roar." That's what I'm going to be doing. Did a roar.
Yeah, it's probably a bit more fearsome than that. Yeah, so battle shock test. And even if they pass a battle shock test, they're -1 to their hit roll.
Cool.
So the strat is basically just I'm -1 to be hit.
Yeah.
But if you fail the battle shock test, -1 to wound.
And no stratagems if you fail the battle shock.
Yes.
Still really good. What is it used just in your fight
It's just
phase?
in the fight phase.
So you could use it if they charge you.
Exactly.
Which is really important then for OC for the your command phase coming up.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so it does have a fair bit of play to that one, actually.
It does,
I do like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Next one.
Untrammeled Ferocity, 1 CP.
They really have been very creative with these names, haven't they?
Well, they have to be now because there's so many.
Well, they've gone into Thesaurus and they've looked up how many different variants
Look,
we have.
Warhammer is a great avenue for learning words.
Well, definitely. I'm learning every single stratagem. There's a new word for me, mate.
Untrammeled.
Untrammeled.
Encircling and entrapping such physically powerful and fearless beasts is nigh on impossible.
I want David Attenborough to read these.
We'll have to do that. We'll do that at some point.
Yeah, okay. Next one.
So, a Tyranid monster that has not been selected to move this phase. Until the end of the phase, you can move through enemy models as if they were friendly models, and you auto-pass any desperate escape tests.
Cool, so you can't be moved, blocked.
Exactly. Can't be moved, blocked, you're just going to walk straight through.
that's actually extremely powerful, and I think that's going to be overlooked. Which one is it?
Overlooked. Yep.
It's going to be overlooked because people aren't going to realise how important it is to be able to move your monsters over stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, brilliant. I like it, mate.
Super good.
Next one.
Swarm guided salvos.
Cool.
1 CP, shooting phase. You pick a Tyranid monster that hasn't shot yet. That monster gains ignores cover and can ignore any hit roll or ballistic skill modifiers.
So ignoring characteristic debuffs.
Yes. So if that unit's now below half strength and is in that bracket period where it's normally -1 to hit, you ignore the -1 to hit, and you can still have your +1 to hit and +1 to wound from Crusher.
Yeah. So that's working fantastic on your Tyrannifexes and your Exocrines. So that's giving your ranged monster platforms a buff.
It's superb.
Cool.
Superb strategy.
Next one.
Massive impact.
Right.
1 CP, after you've charged with a monster, you roll 6 dice, and the enemy unit that's in engagement range suffers mortal wounds on 4s. So you pick one enemy unit, it's tank shock basically, but on 4s, and you always roll 6 dice.
I like it. Yeah, I think that's a really good one. If you just have, say, you could multi-charge something because these have got quite big bases.
Yeah, you could pick one to mortal wound,
and then the other one you're just going to finish off in combat. So you could really do some strategic charges with that, and I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think it's leaning heavily into melee, but I like that there is a stratagem to buff your shooting platforms.
Yes.
It definitely feels like Monster Mash. Monsters Inc. has come out to play, basically, mate. I had to throw that one in there at some point.
Yeah, of course.
We've got Mike Wazowski.
It's pretty good, right?
Hey, that was pretty good, mate.
Thank you.
6 really good stratagems.
Yeah.
Some really good enhancements. Obviously limited on the characters you can put it on. However, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everything else works really well in this detachment. And the army rule, at first glance, sounds meh.
Yeah, because you don't get it all the time. But actually,
when you start to compare or add it together and build it together, you can really make this a terrifying.
Yeah, if your opponent kills one of your monsters that's in between all the rest of them, you spend this CP for blowing up.
Yeah.
Because then you just get to have +1 to hit across the army. So, yeah, it's a really...
I like it.
It's good.
It actually... I know it's got, like, obviously that stratagem with when you're doing immortal wounds, it can lead to feel bad moments. But it does sound fun to play with quite a few monsters.
Yeah.
Playing against it, you've just got to understand the army which you're fighting against, right? So if you haven't played it before, then we're here to help.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But it still has. It seems fun, right? Monster Mash is always it's pretty fun, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's thematic, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the old kaiju from Pacific Rim.
Yes,
that's the the vibe you get.
Exactly, dude. All right, well, should we look at some standout units next?
Yeah.
And now for a word from our sponsor, C Studios. They are the experts in providing professional miniature painting services, ensuring your armies always look their best on the battlefield. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or just starting out, C Studios can help bring your miniatures to life. Don't miss out on their quality craftsmanship.
So obviously the Norns are very good in this detachment.
Yes.
We know they're very good in other detachments as well. Look, they're just very good.
Yeah.
But as a monster, obviously the emissary is great because there aren't defensive strats in there. Having a 4+ invulnerable save is going to really help you. Yeah. So it keeps the monster alive for longer. It means you get more out of your enraged behemoth ability. So yeah, superb. Norns probably want at least 2 in the list. Look, someone's going to run 6 again. Look, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
But this is the data sheet itself. Is the problem there? It's so good.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the detachment itself being what you call it a problem. I think the thing is with Norns, even just taking 3 of them is just fantastic in this and boosting it with other units.
Yeah.
They're just such a good data sheet.
It is, yeah.
It helps that they're beautiful models as well.
They are very, very cool models. Yeah. So the Norn for this detachment, obviously you're going to choose the objective marker one. So select an objective marker, have OC 15 and Field of Pain 5+.
Exactly.
That really helps out the fact that you've got not a huge amount of models.
Yeah.
You maximise your OC and your primary that you can score in the game. And obviously very resilient, and they're just going to get better if you hurt them.
Yeah.
So a couple of Norns.
Yeah.
Chuck them in there. I think it's also worth looking in this one at your ranged monsters.
So Tyrannifex,
Tyrannifex,
Maleceptor.
Exocrine, Maleceptor, you name it.
Yeah.
These are fantastic in this detachment because they all hit on 3s base. They're going to hit on 2s as soon as they're wounded,
Yeah.
which they're going to be because you've got to kill them.
Again, buckets of damage 3.
Buckets of damage 3. You know, you can chuck the rupture cannon
Yeah.
on the big guy if you want to
2d6.
try and focus down enemy anti-tank. And they're all high OC as well, OC4 on these monsters.
Yeah.
So yeah, ranged is great because obviously you get the +1 to hit all game essentially once you're wounded.
Yeah.
Because you shoot, and you'll also get it in combat as well. So
Yeah.
they really do benefit from it. And things like the tank shock equivalent, the running in there, that makes up for the fact that maybe your combat isn't that great.
Exactly.
You can just chuck mortal wounds in. And you know, things like the Tyrannifex are still deadly demise D6.
Yeah.
So they'll explode as well for a CP.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the stars. I don't think you necessarily need the Hive Tyrants in the list.
Okay.
Obviously, free strat's great.
Yeah.
And maybe you want the one for the assault weapons that you can just run around and shoot.
There's no strats that are 2 CP in this one, so there's no
exactly.
urgent need to make that free one.
Yeah.
But if you want one of the enhancements, just take one Hive Tyrant.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to do.
Yeah,
right?
and then you've got the free strat if you want it as well.
Exactly. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, ranged, any of the ranged beasts.
Yeah.
And of course the Norns.
Carnifexes?
Carnifexes are good. Now, really important to say that if you've got a Carnifex unit and it's 2, then they're not going to be under starting strength until a whole Carnifex is dead.
So let's be realistic. They're never going to benefit from
Not really.
the detachment. So if you're taking these in this detachment, you take them as single units.
Exactly that.
Old One Eye's not leading anyone in this detachment.
Probably not.
Because you're just never going to benefit from your rules. So
No.
if you're doing that, take Carnifexes as singles.
Yeah. Obviously, because One Eye joins 2 Carnifexes.
Yeah.
If you lose 2 Carnifexes, he's now treated as a whole new unit because he's a
Exactly.
leader.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't get the below half strength thing. So yeah, exactly as you say.
Treat them like single ladies.
Treat them like
Beyonce.
single ladies Beyonce.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you've got other options like the Screamer Killer.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
And obviously all of it will depend on points costs as well.
Exactly. Trigons.
Trigon's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They give you a bit more mobility.
Deep strike within 3.
Yeah, deep strike within 3. The Morlock's quite interesting
Yeah.
because it can turn up and do mortal wounds, and then if it dies, it can do mortal wounds, or if it charges, it can do mortal wounds with the detachment, right? So you've got multiple ways of doing mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Even the Hive Crone, the flyer,
Yeah. Yeah.
because if it flies over someone and it can go 20 inches and it can hover, so it can start on the board.
Yeah.
You roll 6 dice, and on 3s they do mortals.
Are they monsters as well?
They're monsters as well.
Oh, brilliant.
And then if you charge, you can do the more mortal wounds in combat
yeah,
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you die, you can explode and do more wounds. So win-win really.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see like some of the flyers essentially. Kind of this is probably their detachment if you wanted to run them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And then obviously goes without saying, Venom Thropes goes in.
Yeah.
Just to give you that smoke screen pretty much around the entire army.
You can give all your monsters cover. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
2+ save with cover is super strong.
And I think the key thing here is damage reduction, not damage like nullification, right? So we don't want to ignore damage. We just want less of it to come through.
Exactly.
So even putting psychophages in potentially, because the Feel No Pain, you're not going to be getting rid of blocks of damage. You're just getting rid of part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then you're still benefiting from the +1 to hit.
Yeah.
Awesome, mate. No, I think fantastic, brilliant detachment. Well, let's run through a list that you've created.
All right.
We're grateful to have Frontline Gaming as our sponsor. They're a truly one-stop shop for all your gaming needs, from terrain in mats to an extensive range of miniatures in the United States. Plus, their community-focused events are known to foster what we call the Warhammer 40k spirit. So if you want to start playing an event and you're truly passionate about the game, then make sure you attend one of the next Frontline Gaming events.
Okay, Mike, so who's leading this detachment?
We've got a Hive Tyrant.
Obviously.
We have to take a character anyway.
Yeah.
And a Hive Tyrant is the perfect choice.
Yeah.
It's got that aura of assault, which means that all of your gun beasts can just run around the table and enjoy themselves while shooting at the enemy.
Exactly.
So you definitely take him, and then of course you've got the free stratagem ability as well.
Yeah.
And being a monster, he benefits massively from the detachment too.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's in a great place, and then what I've done is I've given him Enraged Reserves.
Yeah.
So he fights on death on a 3+.
Perfect.
Great. come kill me, I'm just going to kill you back.
Yeah, maybe distract some more wounds if I die.
Exactly, and if I do, if I fight on death, then I'm going to get my full, I'm going to get the +1 hit and wound. Yeah, it's going to be nasty.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a dead simple list, Jordan.
Is it?
It is a very simple
What's
list.
the model count?
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then some little units of 3.
Okay.
So it's not many.
We're not breaking 20.
We're probably not breaking 20, no. No, we're not breaking 20.
Cool. Nice. So Custodies probably
19.
Custodies outnumber this army, probably.
Yeah, probably. Not for long, though, don't worry.
Oh, right, okay. So, what's in the army?
We've got 2 Exocrines.
Standard. Cool.
Damage 3.
Yeah.
Loads of shots.
Yeah.
Hitting on 3's base, so if you wound 1, hitting on 2's. And it can advance and shoot with the Hive Tyrant. It's going to run around, hit you on 2's.
Yes.
Everybody's having a great time.
Loving life.
Great time.
Yeah.
We've then got 2 Maleceptors.
Why not?
Same deal. Strength 10, AP 2, 3 damage.
Yeah.
Run around the board.
Yeah.
Spaff out damage 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves it.
Yeah, exactly. Just get that shovel.
Just
damage 3.
Throw it out. Just all of them damage 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Just have it. Yeah. We've got 2 Tyrannofexes.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm going to give these rupture cannons some dedicated anti-tank.
Yeah, cool.
And they're going to hit on 2's while running up the board with a Hive Tyrant because they hit on 3's base. So if you wound them, then they're going to hit on 2's. Just imagine that, just sprinting.
Just sprinting to
doing that. And it's got its big gun and it's going to shoot you with it.
Nice.
All right.
Cool.
And that thing's 16 wounds, so you ain't killing it. All right.
All right. Yeah, thanks.
So then we've got 2 units of 3 Venom Thropes. Can't leave them without them.
Yeah,
right?
we don't even need to discuss them at this point, mate.
If you're writing a list with Tyranids, just put 2 units in.
Yeah.
And then I've got a couple of Ripper Swarm units. You could equally replace these with like small units like Biovores or Pyrovores, really cheap units to just go around and do things.
Yep.
This is not an army that necessarily wants to do tactical missions.
No.
Because you don't have a huge amount of options for it.
Yep.
It's a very good army at killing things and bullying objectives, though.
Yeah.
So you could potentially do fixed.
Yeah.
You've probably got the options there with even the Venom Thropes or something to do a deploy teleport home or that kind of thing. But it's a very resilient list with a lot of range damage.
A lot of close combat damage as well, though, dude.
Yes.
Don't forget, we have how many Norns?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. There's 2 Norn emissaries.
Yeah, exactly.
On the list.
Yeah. So you're casually forgetting
forget the 2 Norn emissaries.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're running up the board as well,
Yeah.
being 15 OC on a specific objective marker.
Yeah. I think it's important that the Rippers are in here, though. And I'll say why. It's because they minus or they lower OC of the opposing units on objectives.
This is very true.
So in an army which has decent OC army-wide, ignoring the Norns because they're fantastic OC, right?
Yeah.
But this can really help swing objectives if you didn't have the Norn on there or something. So they can come in clutch in that situation as well. Overall, mate, I think fantastic list. Definitely has the legs to do whatever you think, really, done it.
We've got a Hive Tyrant, we've got 2 Norn emissaries,
Yeah.
we've got 2 Exocrines, 2 Maleceptors, 2 Tyrannofexes, and then they've all got cover.
Yeah, all got cover. And stealth.
And stealth. No, they don't get stealth because they're not infantry.
Ah.
They don't give stealth to infantry, but cover to everything.
Okay, right, cool. That's important to know.
Yeah.
Yep, I would have thought they had stealth.
No,
all right.
Thankfully not.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you for running through this detachment with me, mate.
All good.
Guys, if you do have any units you think would work well in this detachment, or if you do have any questions about it, put it in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And
check out our masterclass.
There you go.
For the masterclass, we're going to go through all 6 detachments.
Yeah.
How they play on the tabletop, the missions, what you might need to do against them, priority targets, what to expect, the main gotchas, etc., etc. That's all in depth in the masterclass course. So check that out, and the link will be below.
Exactly that. But guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in a video very soon.